Hey cats, it's EDDBUD here. Been a while since we had a long run shoe test, so here we go. This weekend it was the turn of the Adidas Ultraboost 22. Let's get to it. Hey cats, the cold wind was blowing, but that longer run was calling. What better shoe to take out on such a day as the heaviest one in my collection right now, the Ultraboost 22 from Adidas. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and also click the bell below for notifications of when I roll out the new videos for you. It also gives us a massive boost if you give this video a thumbs up like and also share it with your running buddies. Danke schön. A wet and windy airing today in the Ultraboost 22. This is a shoe that many people regard as a non-running shoe really. A lifestyle model perhaps, made famous by Kanye West. He rocked that triple white colorway on one of his concerts. Perhaps some people retired their Ultraboosts just for walking or perhaps a quick nimble sprint around the pool table. Today I knocked up 11 miles in these, 17.7 kilometers. As I say, this one is the heaviest in my collection right now. Without the incredible amount of debris and mud on the bottom of the shoe, these come in at about 380 grams for my UK size 11.5. I managed to show some reasonable restraint today on the long run. About 8 minutes 15 seconds per mile average, keeping things nice and easy. About 8 minutes 30 initially, around about the first 6 miles, and up the tempo to about 8 minutes per mile to get me home, with a little bit of wind assistance as well. That last mile is always upsetting at the moment, certainly on a Sunday afternoon. Lots of louts and oaths around out there. Viewer Smelly Sam actually commented about this very thing. It just appears that those people have got nothing better to do than deliberately hang around and get in people's way, and consequently that last mile was the fastest one. I just wanted to get away from such morons. Have people got nothing better to do than stand in front of cars or run out in front of you as you're trying to run? It's just ridiculous. Get a life. Only 130 beats per minute average heart rate today. It's quite insane really. I think I've got my fitness back finally. Nice longer, slower run, something that I'm really bad at doing. In fact, all of us can just do those longer runs a little bit slower sometimes. About 1 hour, 30 minutes effort today on a slightly easier week. Lower mileage than normal for me. It's quite nice actually just to focus on doing a few other things. Work week was pretty busy, so I just pulled the mileage back. This week we push forward once again. Pretty much all the run in my endurance zone or moderate heart rate zone. I think it's been one of my downfalls really over the last couple of years, doing the long runs perhaps a little bit too fast, edging into that aerobic sort of level, a bit too high in that aerobic level. Let's not forget that you could go out and do a session, an aerobic sort of run, but very low in that sort of area, or you could really push things right up towards your threshold pace. So good to get back to the sort of base building level there. I'm really confident now that my fitness has returned. 25 mile per hour winds out there were not fun. You can hear actually some of the wind on the footage. It was ridiculous. I thought the windsock out on the airfield actually was going to take off and fly into the distance. It may have been windy, but it was very, very warm out there. It's so mild, especially for this time of year here in the UK. I think it's a bit of a wind chill there, especially when you are running into the gusts. It's character building, that's what they say. Certainly a good set of conditions anyway for improving the strength. And when I got home I had a nice cup of minestrone soup as well to warm me up. It was fantastic. But what of the shoe, Mr. EDDBUD? Well, here it is. Let's talk about the shoe. Gotta say, the upper was fantastic for comfort today on the long run. Reminds me a little bit of the stretchy Flyknit that you get from Nike, not the non-stretchy Flyknit stuff. I'm talking about the Flyknit that you get on the Zoom Fly, or that Flyknit version of the Vaporfly 4%, not the stuff you get on the Invincible run, which just really isn't Flyknit. The stretchy knit really surrounds the foot, but there's still a bit of flex and movement there as the miles rack up. So as your foot begins to swell a little bit, the shoe responds to that with a medium thickness sock. I still had some good room for manoeuvre in the toe box, and this shoe clearly is a half size longer than the Ultraboost 21. I just compared them just now. This one's much longer. So perhaps if you had some sizing issues with the 21, with the 22 it does fit a little bit longer. It's very odd actually. Adidas seem to be moving to a more true to size approach. Shoes like the Adios Pro 2, the Takumi Sen 8, and the Adi Star all fit a little more true to size. They're all much better for me in a UK size 11 rather than my standard Adidas size of the last few years, which was an 11.5. This one though is an 11.5, and could I go down half a size? Probably not, but you tend to want to go up about half size in Ultraboost models anyway. I think some people might struggle a little bit with the Ultraboost 22 in terms of the lock over the top of the foot. Getting the lace pressure just right is quite vital. You don't want too much here at the front of the shoe. It's all about getting it right in the last few eyelets. I actually think if they'd included an extra eyelet here, it would have really made it much easier to lock the shoe down. You could use a runner's knot. I think it would alleviate a lot of the problems. Very different fit to the Ultraboost models of before, especially compared to something like the model from 2018. I can't say it's anything other than comfortable though over the miles today. Midsole now. Midsole wise, I actually find the shoe is really great at training the foot to land on that midfoot area, even at slower speeds. I don't know if that's something to do with the drop of the shoe here, but that rubber section on the mid to forefoot of the outsole is actually raised up slightly more than the section that's around the edge of the outsole. Almost wants you to land there, a little bit like a trampoline, I suppose. Now, the boost here is predominantly underfoot. There is a section at the back of the shoe in the heel where the boost kind of cups around your foot a little bit, but it's a bit of an optical illusion. When you get the shoe on foot, you do realise the majority of it is underfoot. I actually find the drop on the Ultraboost 22 is actually quite aggressive, despite that sort of bulbous appearance. I would like to know what this shoe would be like if they had removed a little bit of the boost around the edge of the heel, but I have to say today it was crazy forgiving. No real squash to it, it's just a more dense cushion here in the Ultraboost 22. Now, don't forget I'm a lighter runner, guys. I think I just bounce off the surface of the boost material a little bit like a poorly aimed proton torpedo. I think this version of the shoe is a little bit softer than the Ultraboost 21, and I think that's down to the Strobel board that they've put inside the shoe. That's like between the boost material and the insole. Just seems a little bit thinner to me and not quite so dense. Now, there's quite a lot of people that actually remove the insoles of their Ultraboost shoes because they like having their foot directly on the boost. I'm not sure that would work so well in a running scenario. Don't think I'm going to try it. I hear a lot of runners mention about how consistent the boost midsole material is when you use it in different temperatures. I have to say I concur with that view wholeheartedly. I think where some EVA blends might seem quite harsh when the temperatures begin to drop, Boost just stays consistent. Yeah, it's not the softest midsole material in the world, but I know hundreds of people that really enjoy it. I really enjoyed it today. It was a little bit like John Major. Not that I'm a big John Major fan, but you gotta say, he was consistently grey. Perhaps it's Steve Bold or Rio Ferdinand. It's definitely not Ozil or Martial. You know, they're just wildly inconsistent, those players. The outsole posed no issues in the puddles. It was great on the cold, harsh concrete or on the rubbery give of the tarmac roads. Still, my main issue here with the outsole, same as the Ultraboost 21 really, was the excessive number of ridges and nooks and crannies. It just sucks up mud and grit and small stones and debris. I think I've got about 15 or 20 grams worth here on the bottom. Yes, easily removed with an appropriate implement, but who wants to be doing that every day? If you're going to use this as like a daily cruiser, you don't want to be sat there with a screwdriver or a toothpick getting rid of all this stuff. I think if they switched it out to some of the much thinner, sort of coarser rubber that we've got on like the Takumi Sen 8 or the Adios Pro 2, I think it would be a real winner. There's just too many little areas here for stuff to stow away on your long run. Whack the shoe on the floor and dislodge some of it, but some of the little stones here are wedged in. See what I mean? There's just loads and loads of spaces here for little stones and debris to get caught up. I have to say that the midsole and outsole combo though do work really well on that longer, slower effort. It made for a super smooth ride with very few surprises, and the weather was throwing surprises at me minute by minute, so that was one less thing to worry about. I think for average everyday runners this shoe has lots and lots of appeal. It does lots of things very well and is ideal really for logging those daily miles. Perhaps if you're marathon training, you need something nice and consistent, the Ultraboost 22 could be a really good bet. For those longer, slower runs, you know, they're the bread and butter of somebody that's training for the 26.2 mile fun fest. I think you want reliable cushion there in the long run, with a little bit of toe box stretch as well. You don't want to feel like you're sort of contained too much. Not that the Ultraboost 22 feels plush by any means, but I think Prime Knit's just a really nice accommodating upper material across different foot widths, shapes and sizes as well. I think Boost unfairly gets a little pushed back by some of the Insta influencers out there and the plate obsessed people. Sounds like a Scott Walker song. I think it serves a purpose, and hundreds of runners I know really enjoy the Boost material underfoot still in 2022. I think they still find that Boost has got something to offer which other foams don't over the miles. Let's remember that not everybody is looking to break 3 hours in the marathon. For some people, they just want to finish and enjoy the experience. Ultimately, on the long run today at slower pace, the Ultraboost 22 did the job, and I lived to fight another day as well. My legs felt great. I think if you were to do lots of miles in this shoe, over time you build up some strength for sure. What are your experiences with Boost shoes, guys? Let me know down in the comments. A quick musical interlude for you. I've been digging back through my vinyl collection, listening to the fantastic debut album from the White Stripes. It's just called The White Stripes. So immediate, these songs, just so simple as well. They kind of stick into your mind. Very simple riffs, a very distinctive sound as well. It's dripping in atmosphere. I think they recorded part of this maybe just in a house or something. It really does sound quite lo-fi. I love albums from that period that were recorded like that. I love the very primal sounding The Big Three Killed My Baby. Just makes you want to chop up some wood or smash down the cans in the recycling box. Astro as well has that same sort of vibe. Pounding drums and a very, very distinctive guitar tone. Just sounds like Jack White whenever you hear it. When I Hear My Name is another fantastic track from this one. It really does show the blueprint of what the White Stripes would become later in their career. If you've only ever heard some of the later stuff, I do urge you to go and check back in with the debut album. It really does show where they were going. The White Stripes with the White Stripes. Thanking you, Tar, for tuning in today. It's always appreciated. If you have yet to do so, support the channel by grabbing some merchandise and joining up as a member in the links in the description. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click the bell for notifications below so you're notified. Give the channel a boost as well by giving this video a thumbs up like, but also sharing it with your running buddies. My name's EDDBUD, and I'll be seeing you